Here, look, it says we're live streaming on the phone from the Sony, but it's not live streaming to YouTube. And I tried doing it between two different cameras, between this DJI Pocket 2 and the Sony, which we're on right now. Weirdest things. The internet with the billionaire sociopathic media sites just don't stay connected for very long. No matter what I do. And we're getting some class actions for that, but don't worry, that's not the topic for today. It would be really nice, but I want to show you how this rainbow gathering yeah, you see how easy that was for me to just switch back and forth? Be nice if we could do that with all beta. You see it pops up on the screen. Wish we could enter these different manage resources types here by just through the Move. I'm sure there's a way, and if there isn't yet, I bet someone could make that possible. Okay, we gotta refresh, that's right. And then load the noise. The noise field's my favorite one because it reminds me of being in my 20s, I guess. So I guess this is just a random button here. upside down, I don't have space behind me for the camera. Put the camera in the bed. And the bed is what's on the other side of this desk. So that's pretty cool. That's fun. There's like some graphs and patches on here which are cool. Let's see what Yeah, I'm really not interested in playing with this part of the music, but that seems to be the whole game, and let you guys have fun with this. So I'll check back in. Maybe someone will share something about sampling and how to use this in Move so that I can like build songs with it, or maybe it's just intended to be a noise toy and I can just use it for noise, and that's cool too. Yeah, keep it lively, come up with a whole album of just that, what you just heard. People do that all the time, especially here in Bushwick. Yeah, people do listen to music like that, and they think what I make with beats is corny. Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, so hopefully these new beats will make people oopsie-doo. I don't know. Yeah, that's some echo there. Nice. Just going through the load patcher. Stereo. Noise. Noise. Just experimenting. Waves. That's cool though. It's fun. Just experimenting, playing around, not trying to come up with some definite end goal of what I'm doing. I'd like to know what I'm doing here, but that's okay. I don't. And they just want to see what we think of that. That's what I think of it, you know? I really prefer to get something done all in one sitting. I don't really want to go back and forth between devices for any reason. I do have to do that, and I've been having to do that this whole time for about 20 years, so it's really fun and nice when I can just do it all in one device and just play back and create everything all in one sitting. It shows how much better the songs become, especially when it's more fun. And that's what we really wanted the Move to be invented and exist for. Built-in microphone and the built-in battery and speaker and the audio effect input and being able to put whole backtracks on the sampler, and then being able to like record as audio clips, even though the audio clips are kind of, I don't know, primitive for what they can do. It's really fun when jamming. It'd be nice if I could bring in those really crazy sounding synthesizers along with this, like the noise. The noise field would be a really cool little synth to play with. If only we could like do more with the buttons and controls on the Move with it to control it. That would be a lot of fun. And just put vocals, crazy vocals in those sounds, and be able to launch our backtracks and be able to build with that, pulling in bass. That would be a whole show, wouldn't it? Yeah. Especially if we could eventually have MIDI in standalone without having to go to the Control Live setup. Just one button down, we'd be able to go to the MIDI part and then map everything like a show song, and maybe have the MIDI track chained to another one of these pads up here in the regular view. Let's say we're going to launch this pad here on the bass. It would automatically launch the same row that's invisible down below of MIDI, which would be mapped to, let's say, Resolume. I need this for audio and video. I don't want to have to set up a second machine to control another machine. I'm figuring some things out. As much backtrack as possible, I guess, these days, because there's no time to set all this stuff up, and the companies who develop these things want to make money off of the individual pieces of gear, and then you're supposed to put it all together and use it. But I think those days are over, especially with AI. But this is going to be fun to just play around with for, I don't know, a couple more minutes. Like, it'd be a lot of fun if I could resample what I did in the Rainbow Takeover Gathering into the Move, and then have that as drum pads here, all in one unit. I don't want to have to record out and then sample from that back in. It's really kind of like 2006, and I don't really feel like doing that anymore. If anything, Move could continue to allow all of the other hacks to be loaded in at the bottom here under the settings. That'd be a lot of fun. Still figuring out this fixed monitoring. Don't really hear much going on through that right now. Let's see. Is it gonna keep going even when I'm between? Yeah, that's a really big help. You hear? hear my fingers tapping, but at least there's my voice. At least my voice is there. And I kind of like the sound of being able to hit the pads. Like, I think this is kind of cool, just to... And that, like, RF in the background, that jamming sound, isn't this really cool? This is organic noise. This is not corporate noise. This is not copy-paste noise. It's just... So there we go. What does it sound like? It's really cool and really fun. Super duper cool. Mighty cool. Welcome to the Noise Show. Noise Glitch. I'll be sure to process this into my songs. You know, it's really important to know how to do this on your own and not just use some sort of sitting beat. Okay, well, yeah, this last piece has actually just been the Ableton Move, but since I got you warmed up, you guys are warmed up in like the you can hear like the electricity running through. I touched it. Let's see if I turn that off. You can still hear electricity running through. Yeah. It's still. And here we're opening, and this is not the regular Move anything. We're not in Rainbow. We're not in Rainbow. I'm really happy with how Move Beta is going, so I hope we can keep different download versions of Beta and the public stable release, so that if there is a firmware that we don't really need, we can go back. But I'm really happy with the way this is now. I don't know if I would ever need to actually update this any further, but it's fun to see what's going on, so I hope we can go back and forth between firmware. It'd be really great if we could go back and forth between the beta firmware and the stable firmware, and then be able to choose which version of beta that we like or which version of stable that we like. We also need to be able to download all of our Move programs from the manager, as well as all of our notes. If we could have a note manager, I might be able to go back and download a different version of my backed up iCloud, and maybe be able to get a lot of my notes back. I was using Note for like 2 or 3 years, and then I updated to a beta note, and it deleted them all. I lost my mind, and I haven't really been building much with Note since then, but it's nice to be able to keep all your files. So we're still just recording to a file right now, and I don't know if it's actually live streaming. Having a lot of issues with net neutrality and Palantir, and we're really hoping that our companies will collaborate with faster chip companies. So, merry every day, and happy Rainbow takeover. Heck yeah.